Hey, folks, welcome back. I'm back, so the mic's working this week. Yeah, Steve, I had to make a dig at you. Scotty's rolling again. We're going to talk a little bit more about Scotty. And are we witnessing history here, folks? Pacers, we're going to witness history this week. So let's get right into it. Welcome to the Tavern. Yeah. I think he is back to form. He fell off a little bit last year, but he also was named Ryder Cup captain. Give me Steve Bradley. How is everybody doing this week?
Greg, you're number one.
I'm doing great. That's why I'm number one. The Pacers are number one. Eastern Conference champs taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. It has been exciting here in Indianapolis. Not only that, we got a dentist here in Indy who qualified for the U.S. Open.
I mean, I feel like you need to figure out how to get an interview with him.
We need to reach out to him and get him on the show. So if he is if he is watching, I will tell you that that Matt, if you're watching, reach out to us. We want to get you on the show and hear about that.
And maybe do a root canal at the same time.
No, on you? Because I'm the one here in Indy.
I'm not volunteering for that.
My teeth are fine. So funny enough, my dentist watches the show. So found that out when I was in the dentist's office one day. He goes, so it's been a great week here in Indiana. We're having a great month in sports here. So with that, how was your guys' week?
Dave?
Wow, that boring.
Yeah. My mom was here visiting to watch Will play some baseball.
Awesome.
So always good when mom's here for a little while. She went home today. So yeah, Will had a couple games, and I've just been out working in the vineyard and not playing any golf this week because some of us
I haven't had time
work.
Either.
Yeah.
I had a cool weekend.
I went and played golf.
No, I didn't. I didn't play any golf this weekend. My clubs are sitting in the garage. I want to give a shout out really quickly, not golf related, but if you're in Central Florida, my son Luke turns 9 here in a couple weeks. And on Saturday, we went out to Wild, Florida, which is in the middle of nowhere, if you're familiar with the Central Florida area. It's a really cool park, animal park, and they have a really cool experience where you can pet capybaras. And that's all he wanted to do for his 9th birthday. So we took a couple of his friends out there, and if you follow me on Facebook, there's a really cool picture of him. And you're right. Why?
You follow Steve on Facebook? Why?
Yeah, why?
But there's a really cool picture of him with this huge grin on his face. So thank you to Wild Florida for a really cool experience and allowing kids to do that. That was our 3rd child birthday out there a couple years ago. Jackson, my oldest, held a sloth for his birthday. That's all he wanted to do. So they've got some cool experiences out there. So I missed it while we were in the capybara experience, but my wife and Jackson went over and they had some kangaroos, and 2 of the kangaroos got in a boxing match. And I missed it because I was taking photos in the capybara experience.
Oh, so you missed it because of the cat. So you were doing the dad thing.
I was doing the dad thing.
Okay.
Only one of us could get in there with him for photos, so I went in to do that.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that I didn't get to see the kangaroo boxing match because that sounded like a good time. So,
yeah. Well, we got weather permitting tomorrow. Will starts this year's golf lessons tomorrow morning. So that'll be thanks.
You know what we don't have is a season for golf lessons here in Florida. They do them year round.
Shocker.
Wow.
Right.
It's just hot there all the time.
Yeah.
Miserable. That's why Dave and I have left.
Yeah.
Seasons are amazing.
Fair.
I thought we left because of Steve, but that's a different story.
Nah, that's probably true. I think the truth is we both left because we love our wives, and that's why we left.
Yeah.
So, all right, with that, let's get right into
Let's get
first
this
round.
going.
Ready to take your game to the next level? Desert Fox Golf's collegiate gear is growing fast, with over 25 universities and counting. Show off your favorite team on the course with the Phone Caddy and DJ10 speaker, built for easy access for every round. Perfect for students, alumni, and college sports fans looking to show off their school spirit. Gear up today at desertfoxgolf.com.
So I will say for Desert Fox, I was on the golf course over Memorial Day weekend, and I got paired up with two guys. And I'm like, hey, you guys mind if I put on my speaker? And they were like, oh, no, I forgot mine, and mine's in my bag and not charged. And I'm like, well, I got the perfect solution for that. First off, just throw this in your bag. It is a magnet. It will connect right to it, and boom, it's got a charging cord, so it'll plug right into the golf cart. Use code GolfingDads and get 15% off at Desert Fox.
I love stereo mode if you have two.
Oh, I love when we found that out on the golf course.
Yeah, Ush and I did that a couple weeks ago when we played. He has the new LSU speaker, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so good stereo mode's awesome in the cart. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we need to get surround sound working on it. Like that we tried to get 4 of them going.
Yeah, you can get 4 of them and set them all out, man. We could be in trouble then.
Ultimate golf cart.
Ultimate, yes. So, all right. So we're 2 majors in. It's June 1st. The Ryder Cup is the last weekend of September.
We are in full swing of the golf season.
We're in full swing of the golf season. And has anybody looked at the Ryder Cup standings?
I have.
Besides us?
I'm not really excited right now. I'll be honest with you when I look at what I see.
To be honest, I'm not either. Well, I mean, I'm excited for 2, maybe 3 of the top 6. Definitely 2. A third one I could make an argument for.
I mean, there's the one
I got 4 of the
play
top
every
6 on the U.S. side.
You like 4 of the top 6.
I like 4.
I actually like 5 of them. I like 5 of them.
Okay, so there's 1 you don't like.
Correct.
Okay. So I'll tell you my 3, obviously, Scottie.
Yep.
Bryson.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I like 4. Never mind. Give me 4 of them.
I like Scottie. I like Bryson.
Yep.
I think those 2 are definite. They're playing well. They've been playing well. Hopefully that continues through September.
Yep.
Then my 3rd kind of iffy is Justin. JT, yep. I like how he's playing. He's
won.
I think he needs to get over the he's won this season, but he's been up and down, but I think he's going on the right path and he'll be in the right place by September. Is what I'm hoping.
Yep.
That's kind of where I am at. I'm not saying these other 3 are bad by any means. I just don't think I've seen much from them that excites me to play in the Ryder Cup right now.
I'm gonna take those same 3 and I'm gonna add Morikawa to it.
See, my problem with Morikawa, because I mean I picked him last week, so I saw this.
Yeah.
He usually has a first round really good. He has a second round okay, and then Saturday and Sunday he falls off. And that's been a consistent thing I've seen from him all season.
I'm going to tell you why I don't like Morikawa. So I don't mind Russell Henley because I think you compare Russell Henley with a lot of people, including Scottie, and I think he fits in that mold really well. In there, we saw it at the President's Cup last year, and I think that Russell Henley is a good mix into that equation. I don't like – Xander hasn't played worth a damn since coming back from his back injury, and so for me, I don't like –
hold on, I gotta respond to a comment here.
Yeah,
not gonna happen, buddy. Not gonna happen.
I saw that and I was like, "Oh, how long is this gonna take?"
Everyone has said, "Oh, the Cavs are gonna beat the Pacers in 5. Oh, the Knicks are gonna beat the Pacers in 5 or 6." I'm pretty sure we have been defining the odds all year. So,
odds with Dave has the Pacers.
There we go.
So I don't like. Here's my thing: if we're going to take anybody on this team, I want guys that know how to win. Xander hasn't played well since his back injury at all this season, so he's not in form. Colin, when you think about Colin's major wins, they both came with limited galleries, COVID. So there was no, like, he hasn't proven in the gut check pressure situation that he can respond with a big gallery there, to me.
That's true.
Don't know. I just don't know that. I want to see guys and take guys with us that have wins. And then when I start looking down the list, I feel like Ben Griffin's you can lock Ben Griffin in for a pick right now. The dude might be as hot as Sepp Straka is this year, so I feel like Griffin's going.
I think Griffin's going to jump into the top 6. I do think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I think Maverick McNeely is a steady player that you can pair with a lot of people. I think he goes. After
I don't like Brian Harmon. We saw what happened last time.
Brian Harmon is either going to play out of his mind, or we're all going to criticize him.
Can I tell you who I don't want that's on this in the second 6? Who I don't want that's on this list? Can you guess?
Cantley.
Hold on.
Cantley. I don't want.
No. Well, see, and I wrote down, don't want him, but they will probably take him, Cantley, because of Xander.
But
I think it's a bad locker room move.
Well, that's why I said I think Cantley is a distraction. I think Cantley brings no energy to it. I think Cantley, even with his hat thing.
I was reading it laughing, going, when's he going to see this? Because this is funny.
You got the younger team there, buddy. You're also the Orlando golfer, so you're rooting for the wrong team.
We're not going to talk about their new logo, are we?
I will say their new jerseys are actually better. I saw those after I saw the logo. I'm not a fan of the new logo, but I am a fan of the new jerseys for the Magic. So,
you keep going down the list, and like you get all the way down to 19, and that's Oshke. I think if he is steady, here we are that we're the first week of June. We're a long way away of people scoring points. Injuries happen, this, that, or the other. People, we saw, Lucas Glover get hot a couple of years ago, going into the Tour Championship. People are going to get hot. Yes, it's fun to speculate, here in June because we're media and that's what we like to do. So I'm going to go all the way down to 19 and Oshke. I think he's going to play his way up into that top 12. And he's going to take Brian Harmon's spot as the lefty.
I like Oshke.
I love Oshke.
I think I don't love him right now. He hasn't played well. His points and his wins were front loaded last year in the points race. He really hasn't played steady golf or consistent golf this year. So for me, I don't like Oshke. The problem is anyone else on that list, like Harris English, I'm okay with Harris. Like he's a good pick. But are you going to take Sam Burns to play with Scottie because they're boys? Sam hasn't played great this year. He didn't even play well in Tampa, and he always plays well there.
And he's at 24.
Right. I don't know that I'm going down that far on that list. And I'm going to throw this out there. Another guy who hasn't played well recently was on the last Ryder Cup team in Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing great things out of Brooks Koepka. I don't think that we take him.
I don't think we take DJ either. I don't think DJ's going.
No, I don't think. No. I think where I would put DJ. Maybe I might make DJ an assistant captain.
Yeah,
I might put DJ as that because of his experience on the Ryder Cup and what he can kind of bring from a knowledge standpoint.
I feel like if you're going to do that, you've got to take Phil as an assistant captain before you take DJ.
You're not taking Phil as an assistant captain. We talked about this when you said, I don't think Scottie's going to win before Bethpage. And he's already won 3 times since then.
I'm not arguing that point, but I'm not taking DJ over there if based on Phil's Ryder Cup record and what Phil brings to the team room, in what he's done in the Ryder Cup, I don't think you take DJ before you take Phil. So I don't think DJ goes. That's the point I was getting at.
Yeah, but I still think that he can bring that experience from playing in it. Phil's, I think, older and bitter, and I just don't want his chemistry. The same reason that I don't want Cantley is that kind of negativity. And yeah, Bradley, You're right. Phil is a poisonous pill. Like I think he's not going to bring the right energy. Whereas, I mean, DJ's not going to really bring energy, but he's going to bring experience that I think would help.
Correct. I'm going to ask one question before we wrap this. Do we have a playing captain?
So you and I talked about this. I think that if he starts playing well, because he's played actually pretty decent this season. He's not played what he played when he wasn't picked 2 years ago. He was playing a little bit better then, but he's playing better than he was last season, in all honesty, I think.
He's playing more consistent than he played last season. He did win the BMW last year in Colorado. So at the end of the season. So he did win a playoff event. Playoffs.
But I think he peaks at the right times. I think that he plays through the season. He plays really good. Then as it gets towards the end of the season, he starts to play better. Like it's almost like he needs that first of the season to warm up. So
you hear it's like with Keegan, that's going to be after the Ryder Cup is when he typically peaks. No, and I think going into
that's before the Ryder Cup.
I think going into it, I think his mental focus is going to be on getting the team himself, his assistant captains, and all that prepared. I would love to see Keegan as a playing captain. I'm not saying that that's not a great idea, but I think his focus as a captain, if he's sitting, where is he sitting right now? 16,
19, yeah.
Yeah. If he's close to the top 12, maybe it's a little consideration, but it depends on how he plays.
So 4 off of the top 12 is not close?
I think I think as the captain, his focus has to be on the team, and it may be a little selfish of him to take himself at 16, 17. If he was 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, I'm not putting it that he's saying he shouldn't. But I think his focus needs to be leading the team at that point in time rather than leading and playing.
I agree with you. I'd rather see him. I think it'd be cool to see a player captain, but I think if he's up there, which he's at 16 right now, he needs to at least consider himself.
Yeah.
But as we said 2 years ago, they need to pick the hottest hands. Maybe not the top. Like if you have someone who's sitting at like 20, let's say, but they're at 20 because they hadn't played well the rest of the season. But right now it's clicking and it's going and they're playing top 10 and moving up and could be. And if they had a few more events, could have easily moved up into the like 5 more spots. You need to seriously look at that person because we take these people that got into the top 12 maybe or got into the top 15 that had a good start to the season and then fell off. And that's what we need to avoid.
If Keegan wins either of the Opens or if he wins a playoff event, he goes as a playing captain. I don't think if he wins anything else, he doesn't go.
I could be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, you win a major or you win. I mean, the only player that I can think of that's won a major and was left off of Ryder Cup team is Phil Mickelson.
But let me ask you this question. If, let's say, God forbid, U.S. loses this at Bethpage and he is a player captain, are we going to look back on this or is the golfing industry going to look back on this and say, hey, putting yourself in was the wrong move?
I think it's not a win-win for him by any stretch of the imagination. If he's the captain, if he's a playing captain, if we lose, it doesn't matter what he does, that he's going to get, raked over the coals no matter what. whether he's a playing
Yeah,
captain
that's a good
or a captain. He's going to get raked over the coals just like Zach did, for some of the choices that he made. So I think it's win or get raked over the coals. And that's just the way that the media is.
I just want to point out right now that
not us,
that-
but
that-
me,
current Ryder Cup captain's pick. So, guys, for the European team that are on the outside looking in, John Rahm, Ludwig, Victor, and Robert McIntyre. What do you think about those or captain's picks?
I think Rose and Ludwig are in.
Yeah,
I think Rahm's
those
in.
two-
Rahm's won 4 times on the Live Tour.
Yeah, but when he's only done, he did okay at the PGA. So I mean, he was in the contention and just
Rahm's
fell
gonna
at
be
the
there.
end. So I think
Rahm's
Rahm's
be
playing better than he was over the past few years. So
Yes, Rahm's going.
and Rahm's one of those guys I think you take because even if he's not playing his best golf at that time, when he gets into something like this, it's a different mode. Like there are players
it's like
out
watching
there.
Sergio and Ian Poulter.
Like, I'm going to use Phil as an example. Phil, when he wasn't playing well during the season, when he got to the Ryder Cup, he was a different beast. Unless
you paired him with Tiger.
Well, that's personality things, and that's why that shouldn't happen. So,
right,
that's just captain. That's you're just taking the hot.
That was poor captaining.
Yeah. So,
all right.
With that, let's get into some happy hour. So, I mean, are we witnessing history right now? Are we seeing greatness unfold? Like when you talk about, hey, remember the good old days of Michael Jordan in the NBA, and you can't remember it when you were there and you're thinking about it now. Are we witnessing the new era of a GOAT unfolding before our eyes right now in Scottie Scheffler? I'm asking you guys.
I brought this up late last year. I honestly think while Scottie is not, he plays boring golf. Like when you watch him play, you're like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, Greg, you talked earlier about Colin and how Colin plays great on Thursday, kind of hums it on Friday, and then doesn't play well on the weekend. Scottie does what Tiger did. He plays decent on Thursday. He's going to shoot 70, 69, keep himself around there, just hanging around. Somebody's going to go out and go deep. It's hard to back up 2 good rounds back-to-back on the PGA Tour. Friday, he's going to shoot another 68 or so, 70, somewhere in that ballpark. And then on Saturday, he's going to make his move. And I feel like we're sitting here talking about, I'm going to take this back to our favorite movie of all time, where they talk about Jones is just waiting to make his move on Hagen. And Hardy Greaves goes, well, what about Juna? I feel like that's where Scottie is right now. He just doesn't play. He doesn't play himself out. He keeps himself hanging around. On Thursday, he has a good round, and he gets to the point, and every great player has this ability that when their name gets on the leaderboard, others around them, and Tiger used to say, it's not my fault if they don't play well when my name's up there. It's not. And again, when you look at GOATs,
it is his fault. It's his fault for being that good. Like, that's what it is.
When you look at the GOAT category, when I look at Tiger, and Tiger had this ability, and the one thing I don't think Scottie has that Michael and Tiger and even Tom Brady, for example, People that didn't.
I disagree. Scottie has this.
No. I'm gonna. They brought people into the game to watch them that may not have understood the game. When you look at the other people that you're comparing them to, and it's hard to say with football because it's the number one sport in America.
They were entertaining. They were a personality.
Tiger had a different crowd, and you know what Tiger did differently than we don't see Scottie really do? It's because of the type of golf that Scottie plays.
Eat a grand slam at Denny's?
No.
Totally different.
Wow, he brought that up. No, I think that the one thing you don't see Scottie do, like when you think about Tiger moments, like you think at La Quinta in the one-hole playoff in the rain with Tom Lehman where Tiger hits one to like 2 inches, or you think of the shot with the lighters at Firestone, or you think of the chip-in at Augusta with Tiger, or you think of all of these great moments where Tiger hits a defining shot. Scottie hit a shot on Sunday. I watched the final 9 holes at Memorial. Is when I turned it on. And Scottie hit a shot on 15, the par 3. And that hole is famous for a very big Tiger Woods chip-in. Scottie hit this shot, flags left. He literally starts this cut at the flag, and it literally rolls out there and ends in the fringe on the right, 40 feet from the hole, and leaves it half a revolution short in the heart. Okay, par. You got a 3-shot lead right now. Par's good. I'm good. Gets up on the next hole on 16 on the par 5 and hits 7-wood from 250 that nearly goes in the hole, rolls out to 14 feet, misses the putt.
7-wood is filthy.
7-wood is filthy.
That's his flashy shot. Like,
but it wasn't
getting at here.
It wasn't the Scottie hits it to a foot there and slams the door shut. He misses the eagle putt. Tiger wouldn't have missed the eagle putt there. Tiger would have canned the eagle putt in the middle of the hole. You would have had a putter blade in the air. You would have had a fist pump, and you would have had everybody around that green screaming because everybody knew what happened on the golf course. Scottie just plays this golf, and I wish, and I'm going to say this, I wish I knew how to play boring golf and shoot 70.
Well, here's where I look at Scottie, and tell me if you think that I'm crazy in this. And I'm not saying his footwork, because Scottie's footwork will make you, like, it'll break your own ankle watching it on his driver.
True.
But when I watch Scottie on the golf course, and then even the interviews afterwards, I think of 2 people and 2 famous golfers. I think Bobby Jones and I think Arnold Palmer. He is the next iteration of those golfers. Tiger was what Jack was. Tiger was that overpowering.
You literally took 2 people with the exact opposite golf swings.
I'm not saying golf swing. I'm saying, but when you watch their swings, when you watch Arnie swing, he had such a unique swing. Bobby Jones has the sweetest swing you've ever seen on a golf course. And Scottie has a unique swing, but they play with such ease. Like, there's no flash to it. It's just they play and they make the game look easy. And that's what I see with Scottie. And then when I listen to him do interviews, he's a great golfing dad. He's carried his kid at the last 2 wins, and his son doesn't want to leave his side, even with a blowout. And it was like Scottie's doing dad things there, and it's great to see. And he just has a fun time. He enjoys being out there. He knows what he does is play golf, and he enjoys it. He enjoys the game better than I think anybody. Even the guy who gets to play golf and is retired and plays every day, like that, he just enjoys playing this game. And he does it with such ease and such grace, to be honest. And I think that's what makes him so special. But to your point, Steve, he is not someone who's like a Tiger, like a Tom Brady. Like, he's not that personality that's going to be, boom, exciting and out there and get you into this. He's not going to be as exciting as the Golfing Dad's Tavern. But
I honestly think if you got Scottie that excited, if you got Scottie on the edge of where Tiger with the fist pumps and all that, I honestly think he wouldn't play good golf.
I don't think he knows how to do that. I think he knows how to play. I don't think he would ever get there.
No, I would agree with that. I think that when you look at what is going on and when you look at the number of wins that he has, you know what? I saved this today. Hold on. I want to read this stat. It's Scottie Scheffler in the last 40 months. I want to read these stats to you. In the last 40 months, Scottie Scheffler has 19 wins. That's more than Jordan Spieth's career. He has 36 top threes. That's more than Jason Day's career. He has 52 top tens. That's more than Max Homa's career. He has 3 majors, more than Dustin Johnson. And he has $121 million in earnings in the last 40 months, which, by the way, puts him ahead of Phil Mickelson on the all-time PGA Tour money list. In 3+ years, that is what he has achieved. Like, when you think about those stats, Dave, you're the numbers guy. You're the odds guy. Those numbers are dumb when you think about that. Like, what is that? Like, how do we wrap our head around that?
See, I don't. The wins and everything. I don't look at the money, because you look at the money. Basically one win on the PGA Tour right now puts you ahead of Jack or Arnie for the most part.
That's also true.
Yeah. So money doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And I mentioned this in our text chat today. Every golfer today should line up at Tiger's door and thank him for what he did. Correct. Now, far be it from me. I was never a huge Tiger fan. I kind of, fell on the Phil side of things before Phil went crazy. But Phil
was always crazy, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah. But Scotty, I think people like Jordan, like you were talking, like Jordan and Tiger and Tom Brady, their respective leagues needed them to be who they were and be out there and be the face of something. Tiger coming off of, we were in a place of the PGA when Tiger was coming onto it that there wasn't really a face of the game in PGA, because Jack and Arnie, were hitting ceremonial tee shots at the Masters. There was no true face of the game at that point in time. Jordan became the face of the NBA. Tom Brady deflated footballs. But, when we went through everything here, finally Steve caught on to it there.
I caught on to it right away.
Right now, the PGA doesn't need Scotty to fist pump and be marketable. They need him to win. And that's all. They don't need the hype. They don't need this. The PGA has it with other people that are out there. They just need Scotty to go out there and be Scotty. And that's all that they're asking.
I think that's a good point, Dave. I think they need Scotty to be Scotty, because I don't think with Liv being that loud and they want to be the obnoxious brand that's out there. And I don't mean obnoxious in an annoying way. I mean just loud and obnoxious is their thing. Golf, but louder. I think the PGA needs someone like Scotty right now to be that just consistent. This is what pure golf is. And but it's not going to bring in fans.
I'm going to compare from just a marketing aspect. I'm going to compare him to Shohei Ohtani right now. This guy could, walk into anywhere he wants and probably be handed a blank check as a marketing person. He is very niche marketing with his deal with New Balance and a couple other small things, but the guy just wants to play baseball.
Have you seen Japan? He's on every billboard. And
he's on everything in Japan.
Right. Like in Japan, he's everywhere. So he's not really a small market.
I know, but we're talking, here, there's, I'm sure, hundreds of companies that would love to have the 50-50 guy from MLB do it. And I'm sure there's hundreds of companies that would love to have Scottie Scheffler go out there and do it. But, I think they're very comfortable in who they are, and they don't need to throw a putter in the air and fist pump. And could Scotty have that killer instinct and drain that eagle and get the roar of the crowd? Sure. He didn't need it, though. He had a 3-shot lead. It's not about, slamming the door and putting your foot down. I think when Scottie Scheffler steps on the course and he's in the top 10, everybody knows it without the roar of the crowd and the fist pump. Tiger, his personality and Tiger's ego at that point in time needed it. And Tiger today, Probably not so much.
No, I think that's a good point because I'm gonna use the NBA Finals right now as a perfect example of this. The Pacers and OKC are the two best teams that have been in the NBA since January. They played the best basketball. They are flashy. They are fast. They are playing pure basketball. And people are talking about, oh, it's small markets and that no one's going to watch because now the Knicks are out, the Celtics are out, all the Lakers are out, all these big names are out. But if you're a true basketball fan right now, this is going to be some of the best basketball you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying even if the Pacers lose, that's still going to be amazing basketball that you're going to see these two teams play against each other. And that's kind of what Tiger was. You were seeing this flashy, amazing, exciting, entertaining golf. And it brought in people that were not mainstream. It brought people in because Tiger was not like every other golfer. And so it brought in a whole different demographic in there. It brought in younger. It brought in the African-American demographic back in a lot more. It brought in just sports fan that likes exciting sports. It brought them to golf and brought them to not only to watch golf, because everyone always said golf was boring to watch. It became exciting, and now they wanted to play golf. Where I used to say I watch golf because I play golf. Like I like to watch it because I play it, and it's the similarities. Where it was the opposite effect when Tiger came in. They watched Tiger and were like, "Oh, this can be fun," and he changed the game. And that's what a GOAT does.
And how many of those people never turned on a golf? If Tiger didn't, for some reason, wasn't playing, was out injured, didn't make the cut, Tiger plays Thursday, Friday, doesn't make the cut. The ratings went down on Saturday, Sunday,
100%.
no matter how good the rest of the golf was. And we've sat here on this show numerous times about certain tournaments that are out there that don't draw the big names, but that's where some of the best golf is being played right now. And it's not about, who's the marketer, who's doing this, who's doing that. It's about, taking the person that wanted to watch, the roars around, Augusta and translate that into every other tournament that's out there.
Here's the other problem that you have with Tiger. Tiger is still that way now. If Tiger is in the field, even Thursday, Friday, TV ratings are higher because people still watch Tiger. You also wouldn't have put yourself, if you were the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour Champions, which is run by the PGA Tour, in a position where this fall, December, Tiger turns 50. All of the PGA Tour Champions TV contracts are up at the end of this season. So they now have to negotiate PGA Tour Champions rights. And I honestly think, and I may be in the minority on this one, I think Tiger is going to go play out there, at least for a couple years, and try and win all the majors. He gets to
ride around in a cart.
Correct. He can ride in a cart, doesn't have to walk. It's an easy one for him, and it's not taking the wear and tear on his body like playing a PGA Tour event and having to walk 72 holes and this, that, and the other would. I think we see Tiger play those events, especially to prep for Augusta and to get his game into shape. And I think you're going to see the TV, the monies that are going to be spent on the Champions Tour are going to be front loaded. And I think you see Tiger play 2 or 3 years out there of pretty steady golf just so that he can, one, get his body in shape to play in the majors and the PGA Tour. And two, I think you're going to see him win out there and people are going to watch the Champions Tour.
Let's put him and John Daly in a cart together and a camera and see what happens.
That'd be great. I think it's going to be exciting with that. I think that's going to happen. And I think that the difference here with Scottie, that we're witnessing here, and like you said, with all those stats, Steve, he's doing so much that I feel if he keeps this up, he's going to surpass a lot of what Tiger did and a lot of records, but very quietly. Like, no one's going to be out there that's going to be like, oh, Scottie's winning again. Like, because Scottie does have, and this is where I thought you were going before, with Jordan and Tiger. When Tiger's name was on the board, you feared him. Like, you knew that I gotta play my absolute best to get anywhere close to his absolute best. Jordan, every player that played against Jordan says the same thing. You don't talk back to Jordan because you're just going to set him off and he's going to shut you down. And they feared that. Like that was like, nope, I'm not gonna go against that. One of my favorites was against the Orlando Magic when he said 45 is not 23. And the next game, Jordan switched his number back and went off for 40 points.
Got fined by the NBA and didn't even care.
Exactly. He's been fined so many times by the NBA for sneakers and everything. But but you feared him. With Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, those players, like when you saw, like they were the GOATs. They're the ones that you feared out there. They both have their kryptonite in the Giants and the Eagles, but it's neither here nor there. Whereas you see Scottie on the board, you see Scottie in the field, it's Scottie versus the field, hands down. And at the beginning of the season, when he was a little injured, it wasn't, but he's got himself back into better form than I think he was last year.
So last week, Bradley filled in, hung out with me for an hour, and
Thanks,
asked him that. I hung out. I asked him that question: "Are you taking Scottie or the field?" And he said Scottie. And then funny Sunday afternoon after, congratulations, by the way, Bradley, for winning your division in Kentucky at the Adaptive Golf Championship.
Yes, congrats, man.
He called me. I'm literally sitting down having dinner, and he calls me and he goes, all it said, I answered, I said, hey, and he goes, I told you, Scottie versus the field. That's all it said.
Yeah.
And when you look at what Scottie has done, I texted you guys a GIF of Maui from Moana, and it said, what can I say except you're welcome, when Scottie won on Sunday. And Greg, your response back was like, really? Because that was a tough pick.
I said it's like death or taxes. I said it's kind of guaranteed when Scottie's out there. Like,
right.
Tough pick.
I think that when you look at where Scottie is, I think that when you look at, I'm going to ask this question. I sent you guys the world's worst hot take today. And I will read this hot take. It was on, I don't know what drugs this guy was on. But it needs to be hot take. Tiger Woods was dominant 20 years ago, primarily because of relatively weak competition on tour. Scottie Scheffler has now become the most dominant player since Tiger, primarily because of relatively weak competition on the PGA Tour.
It's not weak competition. It's just their game is so much better.
Yeah.
Like, it's still great competition. It's great golf. Like Dave, you said before, it's the people that aren't watching the other events that they're not in, where there's great competition out there. But when they're in it, they just dominate. Look what he did at Byron Nelson.
I think Jack said it best in the interviews this weekend. It's like, nothing against, Sepp, and they're great golfers. Scottie's just in a different league.
Yeah. Like,
I'm going to throw this out there. I want to ask you this question. We talked about the Ryder Cup first. Sunday afternoon, Sepp versus Scottie.
Oh, I think Scottie's got that. I think Scottie's got that.
I think Scottie. But I want to see where the points are, and where do we need to put Scottie on Sunday.
But I think, to be honest, I think if you're the European captain, Sepp's the right answer to Scottie. I do think.
I think Rory's the right answer to Scottie. That's my personal opinion.
Ooh.
Rory's the right answer because I think Rory brings that energy. Rory's going to bring all that there. Yeah. But with Rory right now, I have some concerns with him.
Rory doesn't play well when there's turmoil around him, and he's got a bunch of turmoil right now.
Exactly, and that's where that is right now. Yeah. But let me ask you this about Scottie before we go to Smack of the Week here. We said, Steve, when Rory won the Masters, we said all the next three majors fit into Rory's wheelhouse. He has won at all these places. He knows these courses. Could we get the career season Grand Slam from him? And we all thought, yeah, that's a possibility.
It's possible, yeah.
Until Scottie didn't get arrested at the PGA Championship and went off like Scottie does and won. So now I'm going to flip it. Can Scottie complete his career Grand Slam with the next two Opens?
I'm going to throw a second caveat in there.
I'm just asking that, but no caveat. Can Scottie do it? Can Scottie win both?
Will Scottie complete the career Grand Slam before Jordan Spieth?
Yes. That's already,
yes.
I think so. But do you think Scottie completes it this season and does an amazing job and can maybe go for the Tiger Slam of the three than the Masters at the next season?
It is so hard to do.
I would take Scottie in one of the two Opens, but not both.
Okay.
I think Portrush being the shorter of the golf courses suits anyone's hands.
Okay.
The problem that everyone's going to have at Oakmont
is the rough.
Is the golf course. I mean, you've got a 290-yard par 3. You've got rough that there isn't, unless Scottie Scheffler, Keegan Bradley, or anyone else is watching this show. Anybody else watching this show right now wouldn't be able to advance the ball out of that rough.
I think it's Scottie versus Bryson at the U.S. Open in Oakland.
I think it's Scottie and Bryson.
I think Bryson scares me there because of his strength and his power out of that rough. And I think that is going to be the one thing for him. The problem is that you can't keep hitting it in that rough and expect to score.
I think we see the Bryson of his championship at Marion.
You mean Wingfoot?
Wingfoot, yeah. Sorry, not Marion. At Wingfoot, where he just beat the
blew it all over the golf course and just hit
rough.
Driver everywhere and just screw it. I think Portrush is up in the air for me. I mean,
okay, that would be the one I think he would have the toughest time with.
Correct. If they were at St. Andrews this year, I'd be like, yeah, no. I mean, Scottie's going to call Tiger. They're going to have a conversation about how to pick apart St. Andrews, and it's going to be over and done with. And that you might as well just mark my pick down if I have first pick for the Open, because it's going to be Scottie at that point.
My favorite Scottie Tiger moment is you don't make a divot, and Tiger's like, yeah. Like the two of them interacting is amazing, because Scottie wants to learn so much from Tiger, and Tiger's just messing with him.
As we wrap this, I did our friend Ryan Lenahan, who's been on the show before. I sent him a note.
Happy belated birthday, Ryan.
Happy belated birthday, Ryan.
Yesterday was his birthday, correct?
Yeah. During the longest day of golf.
Yeah.
I sent him a note on Sunday afternoon, and all it said was, "Your babysitter's is a pretty good golfer, huh? LOL." And his response back was, "Officially think we're going to lose him now."
He's out of his price range.
He's out of his price range. So, but yeah, let's go hop into Smack of the Week.
Can I just say, I know this is Bridgestone Smack of the Week, but I got to say, my Golfish shirt here, these are so comfortable. Get yourself a Golfish anything. Their belts are fantastic. I wear the belt every single day.
Correct. I'm just going to post this, and then we'll comment on it afterwards.
I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
I got that fuego, I got that.
Took that hubcap right off.
The hubcap is the best part of that whole thing. Just FYI, the hubcap is the way to go.
At first I thought he popped the tire when the way the hubcap came off.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh no, that's just the hubcap on there. I mean, we've all done that. None of us have ever tried to run anyone over with a golf cart here in this.
No, never.
You want a Gatorade, Dave?
Thanks.
So, all right, let's get into the last call. I did finally get to hit my Cobra DS Adapt driver.
Bradley said it. I was looking down at my phone, bringing up the odds, and I looked up and I'm like, why is there a video of Bradley?
I wasn't going to say it, but I mean, we can make other comments, but
But then I realized he was right-handed, so
that's not what I realized. I looked for something else. I'm a terrible friend. I did the same thing. I looked up and I went, "Oh, it's Brett." Oh, wait,
nope.
So, but
that's a drag.
You should have stopped back in Indiana on your way back from Kentucky.
Canada this week. Let's move on to Canada. Luke Clanton is making his PGA Tour member debut this week.
This is going to be a fun week for Canada. You got 3 of Canadians' national basketball players playing in the NBA Finals. I'm just saying. I'm going to bring up the finals all I can. So, and Canada has a team in the Stanley Cup for a chance to win the Stanley Cup since 1993.
What a ridiculous mileage flight that is going to be back and forth.
It's the longest.
The two. It's the longest. Yeah.
That's the funniest thing is the NBA. This is one of the shortest ever for 2 teams in the NBA Finals, and it's the longest ever for the Stanley Cup.
NHL.
So,
and I'm just going to throw this out there. Our friend Davis, who lives like in the middle of nowhere, north of there, we know who you're rooting for. Sorry, dude. Luke
great
Clanton
time to be a Canadian.
Luke Clanton was asked today, and so it was very interesting today. 2 very polarizing things. Our friend from the Masters who decided to pee in Race Creek just signed with Liv to play on John Rahm's Legion 13 team.
Did he really?
Yes.
I was waiting for that to be Rory that did that.
He turned down a Corn Ferry card because he finished, I think, second or something in PGAU. Mm-hmm. So he turned down his Corn Ferry card and went right to play for Legion 13.
Okay.
Luke Clanton was asked today about motivation and if Liv ever reached out. I'm going to read you his response. It's not about the money. It's not about any of the fame. It's about competing against these guys. I want to play at the PGA Tour. I want to play against the best. I want to compete in majors.
Okay.
It is what it is.
That's what the PGA is.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm saying if you want to go to Liv, go to Liv. I'm saying Liv is fine. I want Liv to be successful. But I don't want this pettiness between Liv and the PGA Tour. It's 2 different things. You can be a fan of both, and you don't need to badmouth either of them. So,
no.
All right, let's talk the Canadian Open. Dave, it's your time to shine. Also, if you want the best rangefinder in the game, official rangefinder of the Golfing Dads Tavern and the LPGA Tour, which an amazing women's open this week.
Yeah.
Nikon.
Aaron, that was
get yourself a rangefinder that works.
There's so much to talk about the controversy that happened there at Erin Hills, but I don't think we have time to get into that. Time being the key word there.
That's always I honestly feel, I'm going to just say this real quick. I feel like that's becoming more of an issue on the LPGA Tour than it is on the PGA Tour even.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to ask this one question. We've talked about the rough and the setup for the U.S. Open. What is that going to do to pace of play between the greens at Oakmont and the speeds that they're going to have them? And now you put this rough in that's like you're going to see guys literally hit balls that go nowhere out of it.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's going to be 5.5 hours of Scottie and Rory on TV, so the ratings are going to be up.
That's true. All right, Dave, let's talk about the Canadian Open and what are our odds this week?
So, should we take a page out of Bradley's book here? And this is Rory versus the field here this week. Rory's back this week after taking some time off at 4.5 to 1. Ludwig at 14. Corey Connors up there at 20. Rory's best friend, Shane, at 22. Taylor Pendrith, 28. Sam Burns, 28. Robert McIntyre, 28. Sungjae, 35. Harry Hall at 40. There's Luke at 40. Keith Mitchell at 40. And I'm going to go all the way down to, because I have some newfound respect for him, and I know I've dogged him a lot, but him carrying his own bag for 36 holes, Max Homa coming in, trying to qualify for the U.S. Open this week. I think he needs a win, if not a top 5. He's coming at 70-1 right now.
Okay. All right. Well, because Steve picked Mr. Reliable and Scottie Scheffler, he gets the win. I mean, I can't complain. I've done it twice this season. So, Steve, who do you have this week?
I already penciled
Dave, I'm
him
going to
in.
leave him. Dave, I'm leaving him for you. I'm taking Luke Clanton.
Oh, that was not who we guessed you would take.
You guys had me taking Ludwig, didn't you?
Yes.
That's who we guessed.
No, I'm taking Clanton.
Oh,
And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm taking Clanton, and I'm going to go back to our first round topic. If Luke Clanton wins,
Ryder Cup.
he's going to the Ryder Cup.
Oh, 100%. I agree. All right. Well, now, since I would normally be the second pick, but because you won and Dave lost, I was the middleman, so I dropped to 3. Dave, you got next pick. Are you taking Rory?
I had myself penciled in with Shane Lowry already.
Oh. Okay. Are you gonna let Rory drop to me?
No, because I made that mistake before.
I think I just talked you into
When,
Rory. I wasn't gonna take him if it dropped to me. There's gonna be a no Rory.
I feel this is a tournament Rory could win, and we've talked about Scottie winning against weak fields, and I think this is Rory's chance against the field that is there right now, as going into the Open. So I'm gonna take Rory again, who's been my pick of picks this year.
Eric.
Wow.
Greg, go ahead and take Ludwig, Greg.
Nope.
No.
Are you taking Shane?
No, you guys have. You're not going to guess who I'm going to take.
Robert McIntyre.
Nope. I am going with Canada has taken me to the NBA Finals. This is the Canadian Open. The Edmonton Oilers are going to bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada, and Corey Connors is going to win in his native land this week. That's who I'm taking. Corey Connors for the Canadian
Before
Open.
we hit end credits.
Good night, Canada. In the four ways of Tony Kornheiser.
I have one question, and it's one-word answer. Today, if you're voting today, you have Scottie Scheffler, who has won the PGA Championship, Byron Nelson, and the Memorial, and you have Rory McIlroy, who has won Pebble Beach, the Players,
and the Masters.
Who is your vote for Player of the Year?
Right now, it's a dead heat. It's a draw.
You got to pick one.
No, I don't. You can have a tie in this. They can have a tie. It's a draw. I'm saying it's a draw. Right now, it is a draw. Do I think at the end of the year it's not going to be a draw? No, I think Scottie's going to win. But right now, it's a draw. It really is.
Okay. I think if I had to vote today, I'm taking Rory based on the Players that he's won basically 2 elevated events in the Masters.
You're not calling the Memorial an elevated event?
It's 1 elevated event in the PGA. I don't call the Byron Nelson in a weak field a elevated event.
Yeah, but he beat the living shit out of that.
He did. I'm not arguing that. That's not arguable.
If
you win at 31 over.
31 under.
And here's the thing.
31 under, sorry.
My pick, because it would be more of comeback player of the year, because it's the feel-good story on the PGA. I'm taking Gary Woodland.
That wasn't one of the options.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Good.
But
I like it.
If anybody deserves an award like that, it should be Gary Woodland.
All right. Well, with that, cheers to Gary Woodland. Cheers to everyone. Go Canada.
Good night, Canada.
Good night, Canada.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having the opportunity to build something that's And remember, folks, use code GolfingDads to get 15% off your order at Desert Fox Golf. Also use code GolfingDads to get 15% off your order at golfish.com. Use code GolfingDads to get 20% off your order at Jacket Sunscreen. And use the Golfing Dads Tavern to get 5% off your order at FlightScope.